face off. We're gonna talk your face off. We're gonna talk your face off. Talk your face off. To talk your face off. Talk your face off. Talk your face off. Talk your face off.
Hey, what is going on, you guys? Welcome to Talk Your Face Off Q&A edition. Pablo is off doing his best to become a politician, wandering around the streets of Washington, D.C., in our nation's capital here, and isn't able to join me this evening. So I thought, you know what? It's been quite a busy couple of days here. Why don't we just open this up for some Q&A? It's been a busy couple weeks. And I thought it might be fun to just kind of open up the floor, let you guys ask some questions. Sometimes we don't get to them in the comments over here. And yeah, so it's something that I thought would be kind of fun. There's a lot to talk about as far as releases today. I just saw a video on Redcat release a 32nd scale Ascent. So they just made a really tiny little one of these as well. So it's crazy. Lots of stuff going on out there. Lots of stuff. So I see Max Paul 11 is in the house. Axial 32 says so many releases today. Dave Walter. I have a Vanquish Red driver found. Oh, I bet that's mine. I'm missing one of those drivers. That would be mine, I think, Dave. Those are my I carry Vanquish tools, so I probably dropped it, but I thought that maybe it's just in a different kit or something. So that's probably mine. Hopefully I can pick it up from you on Saturday if you're around. Racing Case 87 Metal RC. We won. All right. I think we're still going. I don't see any comments after that. So what are you guys' thoughts on the day so far? It's been a big one. Nurses going on, the National Hobby Retail Store Association, National Hobby Retail Store Association, something like that. Anyway, all the companies are putting out some cool stuff for them to be able to see at the show there in Las Vegas. I see a lot of influencers there. I saw RC Girl with Mark Santa Maria. I saw, Josh and Matt together from Scale News. And yeah, I've seen several people that are there and are posting from there. So looks like a pretty great time. I think RC Driver might be there as well. I think I saw him there. But I don't know who else. Oh my goodness. What? Wow. I just found a new feature in live stream I hadn't seen for making it go left and right. Anyway, what questions do you guys have out there in the internet land for me about? Well, we are also having our first monster truck race this weekend at Walter RC Park at Dave's place, where we just were for the Great Lakes Gauntlet, which again was an amazing time. One of my favorite events of the whole year. So excited about that. I just booked my flights for Proline by the Fire. And a hotel room. I got to figure out rental car if I want to try Toro. Has anybody tried Toro? Is that worth using? Not seeing any comments in the last 8 minutes. I'm going to see if something's wrong with the comment system on here and open up YouTube and see if I'm missing maybe some comments that are there but aren't posting. Because usually you guys aren't that quiet. Not going to lie. Kind of feels like something is broken with the live stream here. So give me just a second to open this up. Oh, a whole lot more comments. I wonder. It's usually pretty good, but the comment thing is not working. I don't know what to do to refresh that without killing my stream. Oh, there. Now they're all there. Wow, what happened? All right. Wow. I missed a bunch. Now I'm going to be playing catch up all night. Hey, I got the lights turned down a little bit low. I had to because when I'm not just in this much frame, there's a whole lot more mess back there that I have to kind of hide and make sure I don't have anything back there for y'all. Gems Hobbies in the house. Trevor Cripps, Matt Flanders, Yokohama. Yokohama. Oh yeah, Gems Hobby. Joe lost a toolkit. Speaking of the gauntlet, there was a toolkit that was left behind up on the driver's stand. If anybody's seen it or picked it up, it goes to a very good dude, and he'd love to have it back. Brody Crank, I'm torn on the 130th release. We'll talk about that because I know other people who are torn on it. Pete, what is going on, Pete? What else cool has been released today? Been too busy watching our stuff. Yeah, you guys dropped a ton. And Proline, like not even everything seems like it was announced. When you start looking at the Coyote bodies for the SCX30, you start looking at the wheels and tires. Dude, they got some of my favorite tires. We'll go look at them. We'll pull them up and we'll do a search here in a second on Horizon Hobby on the SCX30 and just see some of the stuff that's already like pre-order out there for it. Would be killer to go. Hey, Pete, are you going to Proline by the Fire? Will I see you there? I like the look of the SCX30, but I could buy parts for my 110s with that cash. Yeah, you could put this on your 110 and say it's like your little kid's little, what are those, Power Wheels? Jeff says, gonna miss it. Actually kind of bummed. Gonna miss what? The race? Monster truck race or what? I'm so far behind because I got messed up. All right, so Tony After Dark. Kind of feels like that. How do they organize chaos? I actually did a little cleanup because I got that new table in here. And now I have two tables on the sides that can just kind of be my collectors of all the junk. So I can keep that table nice and clear. One of them will be a build table and one of them will be a like put stuff on that needs to be videoed table and that kind of stuff. Ah, boo. West Coast team is taking care of it. Oh, all right. So TJ's coming. All right. So that's pretty cool. It'd be even cooler if you and TJ were in California, but you know, you get to have the cool time. Sam, my Nichols, can't wait to get my hands on one of those Groms. Oh, hey, what's up, Dave? I told you there was a monster truck. Well, I didn't tell you there was a monster truck coming. You said you wish there was a monster truck, a 4-wheel drive monster truck, and you didn't really like the Groms because whatever. And I just said, well, just kind of take your time. Yeah, TJ does have his anniversary. It's only one of the days. He could fly back for it. Oh yeah, ready to run table. Yeah, that's the ready to run table is that one, and the kit build table is that one. So I stacked the boxes of ready to runs over here, waiting to go on the table to show, and then the other ones go over there until either I build it or I find somebody to help me build it. I don't know. Racing Kid's going to be in Delton, Richland. I don't know where that is. So if somebody in here is a Michigander and wants to tell them a fun thing to do, let him know. All right. So this some people are like, I'm not sure about it. So I was excited. I'll be honest. When I heard that there was going to be one, I was excited. I didn't know how excited to be because honestly, I poked a little fun. So here's the caveat. You guys know that SCX24s are like my thing. I love that platform, that size. Preferred over 18 scale, honestly, because they're so close in size. If I'm going to choose one, I'm going to choose the 24 because it's just smaller and cuter, I guess, in that way. It's just more like, oh, that's cool. What's that? That's tiny, 18 scale is like, okay, it's like our 24s, but it's a little bigger. whatever, like I've got my 24 stuff going. I'm good with it. I couldn't really get the 18s to handle like we could get our 24s. Redcat changed some of that. The Redcat Ascent from the first one has been amazing out of the box. But the one thing I'll say about the SCX24 out of the box and thinking about what this would be able to do is they're not very capable out of the box. I think that so that worried me a little bit about what this would be. And it was sitting there in the box for a couple days. I know, because I had to unbox it. So, and I couldn't get to it because I had the Vanquish build and some other stuff and Gauntlet and all this crazy stuff to do. I know, like there used to be a day where it'd come and I'd just rip anything out of the box right away the day it came. I didn't get to do that with this, but I did keep reading the box and looking at the specs on it. And that's why I was really kind of like, when I was opening the video, those were real world reactions. Part of me wanted to go back and reshoot the whole thing if I had time and just shorten all of it and just be like, here's the points. This is what you need to know. But that was me just really just been exploring it for the first time when I opened that box. So, yeah, anyway. Oh, Pete says, I'll go earmuffs if you need me to. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to be completely mean about it, but they're tippy. And I think one of the main problems is they compensated for them being small instead of saying, like, just drive them in places that you would drive small things because they're going to seem huge to it. What they did is they're like, oh, this is going to get caught up on things. Let's put big, huge tires on it so that it can get over things. It'll give it ground clearance. I think that's probably one of the worst things that they could have done for it. And they're still doing it even with some of the hard bodies, which is even worse with a hard body. Because I mean, like if you just went over a pencil, it would just roll, you know, like it didn't take much to make those things roll over. But I think like one of the things with this is these tires look like scaled tires to this truck. When I showed that truck against this, I put smaller tires than the stock ones on it. I put the Pro lines on it that came, you know, fully assembled, Hyrax or whatever. Put those on it because they're smaller and they just fit better into the truck. So, you know, there was a lot of things that they fixed already with the 24 in this, with the skid, the high clearance links in the rear. This actually has clearance for its scale to what this SCX24 has, but it's not doing it with wheels and tires. They're doing it with the links and the way that the drive shafts are in this, and the way that they meet high on the axle there. There's clearance there too. Look at the clearance of that drive shaft up in there. So it really is like, man, if they would just take some of this stuff and do it to the 24 scale out of the box, it would feel so much more impressive than it currently is. And I know, like, I know exactly what I'm going to do now. I just bought, in fact, it's right. Just hold on a second. I can't help myself with these things. I bought this at the Gauntlet. Now they've gone a little bit further along the way with this. The tires are still pretty massive on it. And you would be surprised that honestly, the smaller tires tend to do better in a lot of situations. So, other than the scramblers, don't get me wrong, scramblers are still the kings, but the Hyrax do really well, and the trenchers do really, really well. So, yeah, that's one of my things, and the motor's just undersized on this. That's just if you're using the same motor in this one as you are in that one, there's a problem. They're very easy fixes, cheap fixes, that I think would go a lot further than they think it would. Plus, what's more annoying than buying an RC car and having it come out of the box stock and turning and having your wheels rub on the body? I mean, it's just this this doesn't do any of those things. So, so that's just me being nitpicky. But what they did here is pretty cool. So um, the fact that it comes with all this stuff is $100, and it drives really good. Like I kept waiting for it to tip over on really small stuff, and it didn't. So it's pretty cool. So the Ascent 32, there's a video on YouTube about it by Work Hard RC. Ascent 32. Yeah, Work Hard RC. Here, I've got it right here. It doesn't look quite as capable. It looks way more floppy. The shocks seem overly big for it. Let's just share the screen. We'll show you guys what's going on here. Boom. Redcat Ascent 32. When he starts, it's on the table next to the apex. I'm going to guess, though, maybe it has a lot more steering. I don't know. Maybe not. It doesn't seem to there. I don't want to get flagged for too much for just playing his video here. There's a pink one. So, yeah, there's several different color options, it looks like, in it. And there it is on the table. So it kind of looks bigger than this because it does have big tires on it, and the scale on it looks really weird. Like the nose is really short. Anyway, kind of an interesting shape to the body. Definitely not super scaled out like this. Lexan body on that. Not going to have as much detail. Needs these huge pillars on the back of it as well. Here. So that kind of is just interesting on the shaping of it all. It'll be interesting to see how it does, though. I mean, I haven't really been able to watch the video. I just saw it and quickly looked. But they got some big stuff jammed in there, like big motor. Massive motor for the size jammed in there. Flat rails on it. I like that. Just 2 quick screws on the back to access the diff, it looks like. So who knows? We'll have to look and see. Posted 3 hours ago from the NURSA. Yeah, amazing. The Axial SCX30. Now this. Let's quickly pull up the Horizon Hobby. So they have the new Grom and Quake. It's an interesting photo to choose for it. You can't see any detail of what it is. Okay, there's a video. It's just my internet stinks. That's way cooler. Yeah, no, that's fantastic. All right, so that's something that is new and we'll talk about, but let's just look up SCX30 because that's where I saw these other parts that were available. So these right here, these Rhino wheels, those are sick. Like this would be like my ideal wheel set if I if I had a choice of putting them on a vehicle. I just love the look of these. They just look tough. So those are coming. This is what they have on. I don't know if you guys watched the Axial in-depth video of the SCX30, but that really tricked out one that they had was using this wheel set here. So they look narrower and whatever in this photo. They don't quite look like that here. That looks a little more rounded, like in the photo of the video of Axial when they were showing it. There's also some other things I noticed in there look like metal steering links in that upgraded one. So I'm curious to see what other upgrades are coming. And then there's going to be the Coyote body here. So you're going to be able to go less top heavy like this. One of the main things going against this is how heavy the body is. I bet if we were to crawl with this off, oh, it's already so much lighter. I mean, half the weight. So much of that weight is up there. You take it down to just this, and it's going to be a whole different ball game to just drive around like this. So um, just something to note. But yeah, lots of little things in here. Yeah, there was a lot of micro stuff in here. Here's some BFG crawlers. And then here's what the chassis actually looks like for people wondering when we've talked about it. That's it. It's a single piece that's molded. So it looks like your transmission comes with the skid. You can see everything uses Phillips head. Little bit of a bummer on that, but they're pretty small screws. I'm just going to say the shocks and all that pop on, and they do talk about it in here. The how the rear upper links are. It actually is pretty cool because it lets you adjust them. There's two positions you can put it in, which is pretty slick. All right. All right, so that's a lot of it on this little guy. But yeah, in the back, you can see how high they stick up here, the post for it's because there's one more spot, one more ball that you can snap those up to. The front links also just kind of snap on the upper part. I know it's 4-link, but it's interesting that they just look to pop on there. But they're held down by the servo, so they shouldn't come off. But yeah, totally different wheels and tires on the Bronco versus the Wrangler. Yes. These ones, all I can speak to is these, and these were fantastic. I really, really like these Yokohamas. All right, let me read some of the comments here. Must be something big dropping soon with all these micros. Is there any parts compatibility between the two SCXs? Double A Day, that's a great question. And it's one I did not answer in my video because of time. The worm gears and the axles are the same. So these axles are actually pretty big, and that's why that drive shaft meets so high up in there, because that gear runs in. There's a long top piece here where that worm gear is running in the top of these axles. I don't think, can I focus on it for you guys here? Going the wrong way. So you can see that long top piece here. And that is, and you actually can see there how you can push up your upper links onto those other post parts. So they're on the lower ball, but you could push them up to the upper and change your angle on that. But yeah, so it runs the same worm gear. So there's already overdrive for this, which I think I'm never going to find focus on this again. Oh, so close, a little too far. Which I think is pretty cool that they did that so that we can quickly be making some adjustments to these while we wait for the aftermarket arena to catch up, because there's going to be aftermarket arena for this. And this ESC, whatever being molded in here, not a huge deal, because it can just be removed completely, and you could just put a flat one here, 3D print it, or they could mold it into their ESCs or mold a little holder for their ESC. There's a lot of options companies have to be able to do that. So I don't think that's a big issue. But I like that they did the lights up in the body here or in the chassis instead of here, and having wires attaching and pulling off. Just a whole lot easier to manage for people like me that hate lights and forget that they're even installed. So anyway, I think, it was one of those things where it really blew me away. All the little things and thought that they put into this little guy for how well it performed at the scale that it is. And we drove it over stuff. I didn't film it. We drove it over our piano. So it's going up and over the black keys, which is pretty fun and cool. Over like soundboards, all of the little knobs on soundboards look pretty cool. and just, some table stuff. It didn't go in my mud pit, like the BBs. It was too deep for that. It got sucked up in and just sank and wouldn't keep moving. So, SCX30, now would you choose the Bronco or the SCX, the Wrangler? I mean, I'm a Wrangler guy. Sorry. I'm pretty partial to it because it comes in green and white. White's what I had, a white one like that in my real Jeep. Just love that look. Next gen designers putting in the work over at Axial. I think so, man. Like, it's also really smooth. Whatever they did for the radio this time, the power delivery is so smooth with this. Yeah. Anyway, I was actually, somebody had reached out to me via Messenger who I haven't really ever chatted with before, from somewhere over in the Horizon brand, and one was just really, kind about the channel and that the growth that it's seen, which has been great to see. But just the unboxing, liked it and said, like, yeah, I'll poke some people about. Cause I kind of I lightly poked the bear about the SCX24 should have some of these things that they did in this, because it's sat too long in its place that it's been at from the beginning. And, don't get me wrong, we'll take cool bodies, we'll take the oil-filled shocks, we'll take the front CVD-ish drive shafts that you put in here. But like, just a little better motor, like, it's not super expensive. I know. Just little things, like, don't change like your whole molds. There's things you can do without changing your molds that'll make these better. You've already got those Proline Hyraxes and those, put the smaller tires on them. That kind of stuff will go a long way from keeping it from just tipping over right out of the box. Especially with it coming with the better shocks now. I've just found that taking a lot of that stuff away from it and letting it sit where it should in a scale way makes it just handle so much better. And I think we've just overcompensated with thinking it needs to be tall and whatever to fit over obstacles. Will the SCX6 wheels fit it? No. Redcat just announced the 32. Okay, there we go. Ryan B. Binding the 30 with the new dual protocol should make it even better. I have one of their 6 radios. What are they? The DX Spectrum DX6. It's not the rugged. Yeah, this one, the DX6C. I have one of those. And it's dual protocol. I should try it. Sorry, I was just looking up something for myself to see what one it was. So I have this, and it has the USB-C on it, but I think I have to update it. Yeah, I have to get the firmware update for it. So I have a little work to do, and I should be able to test that. All right, so that's enough probably on that thing. Unless you have specific questions about it, it was really, really exciting to me as a release. So I'm pretty pumped for where this will go. I think steering is the one thing I want to look into. I feel like maybe we could get more out of it. I mean, it seems like a lot when you're just doing it here, though. So I think maybe even having a radio with a little bit more control maybe would be able to push it even further than what it's wanting to do. I don't know. We'll have to see. All right. What's the question? Oh, the question is Brian interested in it? Yeah. So tires and wheels are super tiny. Just knocked a whole bunch of stuff down. There we go. IXSR is upgradable to Plus and gets you 12 channels. Wow, that's cool. Hey, JMRCs, I need to chat with you after about tomorrow if you're going to be there. Okay. Yeah, he boundaries up to a rugged, way better pop control. Do the SLT update. Okay. So I need to do that. This little guy here was one that I was excited about. Still excited about, actually. You know, I would honestly love to see this in a 10 scale, like the 3S platform, because I feel like so much of the 3S platform vehicles that they had, the Granite, the Vortex, and the Big Rock, are all very similar truggy like, but getting something with a higher stance like this would be cool. Now, I would hope that you could get a little bit more. Like, this feels like, you know, they cheated a little bit here, but it's still pretty low. It still runs your main diffs, arms, and all that at the same kind of idea as the other Granite and stuff, Grom. So, and then it just runs this huge tub chassis up. You know, I'd love for that to actually sit up a little higher, maybe. But whatever. It runs awesome. That's the main thing. So that's what counts. But yeah, I'd love to see something like it in the larger scale, because I just like the higher stance. I like the weight up high like this that these monster trucks have for just wheelies and just overall driving style changes. There's like a fun factor that's added instead of it just being all precision and control. You get a little bit more bounce and craziness from it. But yeah, it would be really cool if they did something like this. So, yeah, nothing really new about it to write home about. A lot of people are just saying it looks kind of Walmart-y with the plastics like this, and something about the front end, kind of this bumper. I don't think it really looks that Walmart-y, but I mean, it definitely is kind of a cheated monster truck look, but I'll take it. We'll take our wins where we can get them. They made us a tall wheeling machine you can do flips with, and it just kind of handles more like a monster truck this way. So I did see somebody sent me pictures of an X-Max with Chevron tires and white wheels and a Bigfoot body. I mean, they should do that. They really should. It looked AI-ish to me, but I don't know that it is. But that's kind of the look that it had to me. Just, I don't know, there was something about the images that didn't quite seem like anything that Traxxas would produce. So yeah, Axial 32 sent me a link. Kind of just feels a bit I'll see if I can pull it up, because Tyler's telling me he sent it to me. See, he sends it to my other one. Gotta start using my 20 at CCXRC profile. I'm never logged into the other one, so I have to log all the way out, log into the other one, and then it's just a slow process. All right, it's coming. No, you didn't send it to here. Shoot. Where did you send it? Now I'm switched profiles. This is good content. I could probably just search it. All right, Lemke. How do I not see it? Well, I don't see it here. Maybe I'll just email. I can probably just share it to myself from here. I got to find out which one you sent it to. I have way too many messenger options, pages, and Instagrams. Oh, there he is sending it. See it again. He's sending it. It's pretty cool, so it's worth the time, but it also, you guys can tell me if you think it's real or not, or if I'm just being overly sensitive to all the AI junk we see in our feeds these days. All those really cool SCX24s you wish you could have, turns out they're not real. Dang damn it. Performance hobbies. Can I just airdrop this to myself? Wow, this is the runaround way of doing this. I'm not switching all that email stuff again or Facebook stuff. All right, just email myself. I'll get it in a second and we'll pull it up. Actually, I'll just look up performance hobbies. That's who did it. Here it is. All right. They just look too cartoony. It looks like a drawing. And if it was Traxxas, I don't think it would look so cartoon-like. Like these gradients on here don't look like they were a photo taken or anything. They just look like renderings. Yeah, all the front end of that. I do like that green and black. And they do X monster on the side. But maybe it's real. I mean, there's enough different skin options. It could be, but it doesn't have enough of the Traxxas flair in their paint job either. They've got their name in the undergrowth and in the stamping and all that. So I doubt it is real. Is all I'm saying. It'd be cool if it was. Hey, thanks for sending it, Tyler. Again. There was a picture of them on a table at the show. See, these boxes aren't real. Look at this, the size of them. Oh, that's just the body. And the chassis sold separate. I don't know. It's like all of those variations of what they wish the SCX10 or 24s would be. There's pricing on the post. Yeah, pick your own body for $199 map. X Max chassis is $10.99. Combo truck with a body for special pricing. Let's see what the commenters say. Well, nobody seems to be claiming it's AI. I don't know. I mean, I think the Bigfoot racing stripe would be sweet. I think an original Bigfoot would be pretty sweet too. And yeah, it looks good if it's real. I agree, GMRCs. I mean, they're doing all these others, so maybe they're at the hobby show and they just found what they could. Also, this video is great. This Armo one for the Grom that he'd left the wheels up from their last video shoot. Look at them teasing us. Oh man, I need to start doing some of the conspiracy stuff again. Did anybody look through this video to see if there's anything new tucked in there after they drew our attention to it? Also, did you see that they're using the Proline ramps in there? That hit that they just did. Oh, I don't have you guys seeing it. Hold on. Why did it stop? There we go. All right. So did you guys not see any of those pictures I was just showing a second ago? All of these? And how they just look like cartoonish drawings? However, pretty well done. I mean, that's really highly touched up if they did that and used it as their photo stuff for it. There, that's that Proline ramp. Right off that hit there. Boom. Those are decent size. Did you guys see those Proline ramps? I ordered a set today. Figured they'd be great for the monster truck racing. All right, I missed some stuff here. There was a picture of them on a table at the show. All right. Traxxas X Monster. Hobbytown's now saying it. So now these renderings, this kind of looks more like something they would have. Okay. X-Max Monster Truck chassis does not include. So it looks like they changed some of the geometry of it. Kind of made it its own thing to make it stand up a little. Oh, that's maybe not. Just look like in that photo. Okay, that. There's a lot of posts about it. Okay, here it is on the tables. Oh, snap. Yeah. Those are pretty sweet. You guys were right. So what are your thoughts on that? Holy cow. That would be pretty sweet. A Voyager with wood side panels as a ground body. That would be a great Gorgon body. Yeah, I mean, Bigfoot already is licensed through Traxxas, so yeah, it's expensive. That is expensive. The pricing way that they're doing it. It's going to be, so it's 1100, 200, so 1300 bucks. Ooh. Although we said that if Losi would come out with an electric monster truck, we'd be willing to spend upward of 1500 bucks for it. If it was like a, sixth, fifth scale big like this, but solid axle, be willing to drop the bones on it. Not going to lie. Because there's nothing out there that you can build into that big of a monster truck anywhere near that price. So like, you got the Raminators up there at the $3 to $4 grand. Then you've got, well, my Bari build was upwards of that. So ready to run with solid axles, 1,500 bucks, put in the low C5 range, low C5 MT ish again, would totally do it. Now, if they had put the Pathfinder body on this, Brian Connor says, I had that conversation with the Traxxas reps at Bigfoot Open House. I swear that I am to blame. Well, there you go. We blame Jeff. It's pretty cool. 50 miles an hour plus. Now, have they found a way to make that body last? That bumper looks like it's a goner. Looks like a goner. Somebody was saying HPI had a new monster. Let's see if we can pull that up and see. This is all old stuff. That's a Savage. Don't see it. It needs an Aztec body. They could be a real Aztec for that price. Oh, they haven't announced the new HPI yet? Let's see if anybody else is just kind of posting about it here. Where did you see the? Is it this one? The Big Kahuna? I saw this on Sam. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. So solid axles. Can't really tell the scale of it. They're saying the same here. Well, it's a Wheelie King on the box art. 2.2 on the box. Oh yeah, in the back, 2.2-inch tires. So it looks smaller. Like 12 scale maybe? Maybe like a 16th. I had seen this. I just thought it was somebody's build on Sam. Happy. Well, it's Big Kahuna, so I pretty much have to buy it. Interesting. I love how this stuff gets popped out. So there's gonna be something about this here. I was really hoping for a new platform from Vanquish today, Racing Case 87 says. Oh yeah, Danny Mess did post it. Yeah, I'd seen this. So HPI rebranded a rig that was just released a few months back. Do you remember what that was? These old flapping lips? That's the Hawaiian burger joint. Nice. Yeah, the mullet got a lot of flack on my stuff. People would come in and knock it. It's been handling great. It's been driving great for me, but I guess they don't like how they did the drive shaft angle or something or gear in the rear axle. I don't know enough about them to know what these mullet Gestapo guys are talking about. Anyone that doesn't like monster tricks, we have some politely yet firmly to leave. I like it. Other new stuff, got the new bodies for the Grom. The Grom's Mojaves are still one of my favorite uh just trucks to run. Like they're so small that they're easy to carry with you. They aren't um they aren't also like, I don't know, they don't scare people if I have them at a campground like, oh my gosh, they've got this big car, they're going to destroy everything here. Like people look at them a little bit differently, I feel like, from the outside. So I like that about them as well. They're just they're unassuming would be a good word for it. And so for that reason, I just really like them. But they're fast. It's easy to set up a little course and race them. And so, yeah, we absolutely love them. Still pass on the grounds for me, Double A Day says. Yeah, I would have probably said the same thing at one point. And then I drove some and then was just like, okay, I got to get one of these. And now I have 5 of them. Well, 5 of the Mojaves and 2 of the Granites. And now one of the Gorgons, which I'm going to be ordering a Quake here very soon. I'm just waiting to see what else comes out here that I might need to get. I just bought a light. Let's see if I can pull it up for our racing this weekend. So I'm also set back on that a little bit. That set me back. But it looks pretty cool. Looks a little bit like this. So they're 4-inch lights. So they're decent size. I was going to get 8, but they seemed huge. I mean, those are like, they'd be massive. You'd see them from like way across. I mean, you could put them 300 feet away and see them. So these seem like a good size. Plus, I had the wireless remote for changing them. So we'll see. See, Pete's got 2 Typhons, 2 Mojaves. I'm not a big buggy guy. It's just I've never been like big into buggies. However, when they came out with Proline came out with those bug bodies for them, I pretty much feel like I'm gonna have to get one. I'm feeling it coming. I'll probably end up buying one when I'm in California or something. I don't have room to carry anything really but camera stuff. So yeah, it's a pretty good size stoplight, just red and green. I'm hoping that when you hit green, it turns off the red. Because if not, having to press the 2 buttons at once to turn one off and the other on, that'd be annoying. So they had other options of it as well that had like, where's the button control, like this style. But I couldn't tell how long that cable was. and I needed to be out away from me enough that I wasn't willing to risk it. But I would rather have it be a button like this because you don't have to worry about losing the remote. That's the main reason. It travels with the light, but we went for the remote option for now. You can see it up. Man, this thing is just flipping all over the place. And this photo here up next to a TV, they're pretty good size. So I'm hoping it'll be about the right size, but been an expensive day, so we're gonna wait on some of the other stuff. I'm red green colorblind, so you'll lose, Jeff. Sorry. Got the bug body on it though. Yep. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Gotta get the bug. Don't understand. I don't got a crucial. Oh yeah, the NASCARs are pretty good. Movie mod. It's weird. The SCX30 review units were shipped in September, but the truck doesn't release till December. Are they doing a LHS deal? No. So sometimes what they'll do with these is they'll ship them airmail, a few of them, but then the rest will end up on a container. So that's one of the things that happens with them. There's all different kinds of reasons. Also, kind of testing the waters, and I'm sure they knew with this thing they probably are ordering a buttload of them, basically, and so they're probably getting them in the tens of thousands. So it's going to be a large quantity that's coming. And again, they do airdrop some of these here and get them out to people so that they can start talking about them, because people are going to want to pre-order them and get them, know that they have something for Christmas and different things like that. So instead of waiting for you to know that it could be something you get as a stocking stuffer until you've already spent all your money, they are kind of, and they probably wanted to announce it here at NERSA. I think that some of those are the reasons why, potentially, but I don't know. I don't work there. They don't share that information with me. I just know some of the ins and outs of how things in the shipping and all that work, but not even that much, to be honest. So, but I do know sometimes, like, we'll get things and they won't have batteries, and that's because they were air shipping them, and so in order to get it that way, they can't come with the batteries, and so batteries have to be supplied separately, yada yada yada, because the rest of all of the shipment for them is going to be coming in containers and going through the ports and doing all that kind of stuff. AZD's Rider, what? No response. I'm not sure if I should move or wait for a killer video. Who's going to develop the Pathfinder 30 and 32 bodies so we can see Koshner struggle with the mini screws? Please. Hey, I've got a vacuum former here. We could make something work. Or we just 3D print one now. The 3D printing is so good. But yeah, I don't even know when the hobby shops are getting them. The question is, how many SCX30s can you fit in the new trailer? I could fit a bunch, thousands. And if we're using it as a tool of measurement, the question then is, how big is my workbench? Oh, we're not going to go down that rabbit hole again. That was a fun one, though. I do remember. Oh, go get that Rock Pirates drawing, man. You got to get it. I do still have my vacuum former. It's right here, to the side of me. Oh, it's like the FMS Rock Hobby one. Interesting. You guys are way more in tune with all this stuff than I am. I was just trying my best to get these videos done for today. I was up late last night editing because I went on that one church group thing, and I left Thursday night and didn't have a phone from Thursday at like 5 until Sunday at like 8. No computers, no watch, no phone, just complete disconnect. And it was amazing, but it put me on a crunch. I was right up until I left, I was hammering these videos out. I just back to back to back, and then had to wait to come back and edit them, but also then record some new stuff because I didn't like a certain section or whatever. Yeah, it's been nuts. Man, do it. I have whiplash after today, 2 nano crawlers and the armored Grom. So cool, right? And then if Traxxas is really dropping that X Monster truck, the X Max Monster truck, holy cow. The Ascent Apex. Yes, I do actually have it here if there's questions about that. Right here. This thing is amazing. Out of the box. Stellar. The only thing I would do different for me is narrower wheels. I didn't realize that this axle was so much wider than the stock axle, original one. And even then their new high steer one, these are wider. So I would definitely then not have my wheels offset so far. I would have them sucked back over this as much as I could to narrow the truck up. It looks a little bit silly-ish with these big tires and the 24 scale body on the 18 scale truck. I know it's all about the comp for this. Yeah. I don't know. It's great. It did give them because they have these, they're running these carbon fiber chassis rails. They're not able to taper them. So maybe they had to do it in order for the shock angle to be right. I don't know. Maybe that's why they widened it. But I would try to reduce some of that width. But it just feels so wide and so kind of goofy looking that I would just try to take away the goofy lookiness, narrow it up, smaller tires. I was running it with some of Travis's wheels already. That video is coming. It was shot last week, midweek, last Wednesday, I think. And I haven't got to edit it yet. So if it's a comp crawler, you want it narrow because the gates are at a set width. And the narrower you can be and still awesome, the better you are. So if you can be 18 scale and keep it tucked, way better off. But not everybody comps. And so for people that just want to do cool stuff hanging off of rocks and whatever, it looks cool. So, but for the comp guys that screwed us, their other truck's better. Get the Power Wagon. Probably. Narrower axles right away. So that's one big, huge step. It's just a bummer that they probably won't work well with this chassis because this chassis is great. I mean, it's a really killer design. Simple, straightforward, clean, just works. But so I've got this question several times. I think it's a great question to answer. And no, we haven't forgotten this. I'll probably be dropping the video on this tomorrow since it's already shot. I do have to at some point turn my focus to preparing for the race this weekend. It's my first race I'm running ever. and I don't have everything ready yet. I don't have crush cars painted or found a way to put them together with each other yet for retro. I don't have number sheets for the freestyle. So I'm hoping I can get those on Amazon. Sorry, I don't like these single pins that are long. They have to get through and try and line up with this other body post. I haven't found the trick for doing it. And it's just, I mean, this could be, I'm going to get it. But the question is, how long will it take? I can't even see if it, there, I got it. Very frustrating. Just give me 2 body clips. Or I'll just get my own body clips. So why this Axial? Why this over this? Why did they choose to make this? Well, the question then would also be, why, Redcat, did you also make this? So, my answer to that would be the mini game really started with Axial. Axial had an SCX24, is more popular than anything else that had come out before it. You had RC 4-wheel drive ones. You had, man, what's that company called? It was a Horizon company that was only sold in hobby shops. They had a 12 scale one. They did like a build kit, and they made and I bought it. It was a like that cab forward Unimog-ish style thing. Man, who was that? Start with an E. Somebody's got to know. No, it started with an E, and they made chassis. Gosh, what were they called? Horizon Hobby brands that no longer exist, maybe. ECX. Where were you guys? Oh, Western Unknown had it. There you go. Western Crown. Sorry, not Western Unknown. Western Crown had it. ECX. I just found it online too, but they had the Ruckus. I got my dad a Ruckus after I got into RC. Anyway, they had 18 scales or 24 scales, and they were terrible. They're absolute worst. It's like 1 speed junk. I mean, I took it camping with me and some stuff. Thought I'd have some fun with it. Nah, sat on the shelf. Finally sold it. Kind of wish later I hadn't because I wanted the body back. But anyway, all this to say, Axial was really the first one to get any traction with the mini world with their SCX24. It was $100, $99, easy spend to get somebody as a first LRC for Christmas or whatever. Capable at the time for what they were. Still really tippy. Brass really helped them out a lot. And smaller wheels. So then what I'm trying to pose is the question is, Axial kind of set the standard with the 24 scale. Everyone else chose to go 18 scale. Why would Axial, who already has something that's already it wasn't what's so bad about the ECX is it was like you turned and it all turned. It was not proportional. None of it felt proportional. It probably said it was, but it's kind of like the Element ones, just no good. Same with speeds. It's like proportional, but really we had two speeds in it. We made you think you were getting a proportional speed ramp, but you weren't. They look cool. That's why I bought it. Anyway, so what I'm trying to say is I don't go get my 24 scale now. And this is what I said in my video about this. Axial's going along. See, now this just looks better. There's still too big of a wheel, and I lowered it some. There, it'll drop out though. They're stuck. Because I did what I should do, and I took the springs off them. But it'll sit lower. But the way that I have the shock set up, it sits even lower. So this is running the Robski Fabrications chassis on it, which is a simple kind of upgrade kit to your stock chassis. So it's just the stock rails, but it gives you basically keys for your shocks, and it gives you platforms on the side to put electronics or whatever. Other than that, it's pretty stock. I did put a baby Goliath motor on it. That's the size motor these should have in them out of the box. Smaller tires, bigger motor. You'd be going a long way, Axial. So if you got it sitting even like kind of like this with your tires, even just get a little lower, that'd be good. Anyway, this is the size that was kind of the standard, right? And then FMS came out and they made an 18 scale, and then Traxxas came out and they made an 18 scale, and Furatech made an 18 scale, and everybody else made an 18 scale, while Axial has been still sitting here killing it in the 24 scale. And most people that we knew were still comping these and not really getting into the 18th scale. And it's kind of a like, why would you, if you already got something going and all of your gates are set for this? Your gates are only a little bit bigger for this because it's just enough wider that it's going to hit all the gates of this one. So now you have to have a whole nother course set up for a mini. So now you have two different sets of mini courses because everybody else decided they weren't going to do what Axial had already set as the standard at 24 scale. But given the choice of these two, I'm going to choose a smaller one because the point of getting into these was their small size, that it was kind of kitschy, like it's just different. So we chose a smaller one, and this one came out and it's just a bit bigger, but none of them really did any. You couldn't really get them to perform that great, whatever these just worked. A lot of upgrades. Worm gears are easy. Working on these is stupid easy. Lots of things about these were just we gravitated toward. So bigger, harder to work on, not kind of as intuitive and simple as this. Why would Axial then just make one that's just this much bigger and try and sell both? Why in the world would they ever do that? That's like having a 10th scale and saying, oh, let's make an 11th scale crawler. It doesn't make sense. 18 to 24 is such a negligible difference. Like this to a 110 scale is a massive difference. 110 scale to a 6 scale or even an 8 scale is a pretty considerable difference. This to this, not so much. The wheelbases are off by maybe an inch, 3/4 of an inch. The width is maybe an inch, half inch. It's not worth them having all these new molds and whatever for something that's the same size, and then the pricing is going to get weird with them. So I don't understand why people would think that they would come out with this. When they did come out with an 18th scale, did you see the size of it? It was more like a 16th scale or 14th. It was considerably different than 10th scale and considerably different than 24 scale. And what they've done with this is considerably different from 24 scale. So yes, it's a 6 number difference from 24 to 30, 1/30th, as it is a 6 number difference from 118 to 124. But when you see them side by side, 1/18th to 1/24th, that's not worth it. That's not worth doing. So it's an entirely new market. 18th scale is the same exact market as this. It's just everybody else tried to go a different route, thinking it might do them better because it's a little bigger than this for the same price. But what we wanted was small, and they gave us small in 24 scale, and the 18 scale people didn't really get it. So there hasn't been many 18 scale that you see people buy and continue using in a considerable way at any of the events that I go to. So until I'll say this, until the Redcat. So most of the people that I see running the TRX 4M, honestly, are people that are not typical RC people. They got it for their kids. I have friends at church and they're like, oh yeah, we got the TRX 4M. I'm like, cool. But yeah, it's not geared great. They have trouble crawling with it. So then they put the slow gears in. So unless you drop in a brushless system, it's kind of a pain. Where the axial gearing ratio is decent enough, and so is the Redcat. And the Redcat has a nice motor in it. Their brush motor is even good. I'll just be honest, Redcat killed it with their Ascent. It was a game changer. What they did with it, steering, the motor size, the capability, the smoothness of it, the ability to not just tip over easily, oil-filled shocks. It was killer. So, but this market was pretty saturated already, and so a lot of stuff had already been started for this, and then we're just having trouble getting people to be interested in the 18th scale because everybody else is already running these. And then 3 different classes for these, where the 18th scale, where they're just like lump sum, just if you run 18th scale, we've got a class. 1/18th scale. It's not broken down any more than that, like we do with the SCX24s, because it's been developed over time, and it's just hard to crack into that market. Anyway, so that's the long answer, because it is more podcasty on these live streams, as to why Axial came out with the 1/30th instead of the 1/18th, from somebody who doesn't work at Axial or Horizon Hobby and is really just guessing in order to put words into the internet, hoping that AI and all of that will grab it and use me as a search tool, and grow my platform to be the 1/30th scale king of RC. I'm just talking now, guys. I don't know. I'm just messing. But yeah, I mean, I'm making a lot of assumptions. There's a microphone in front of me. I'm just talking, saying what's coming to my mind and what I'm thinking. So, yes, the Kyosho 128 is very similar in the ballpark to these, a little bigger. But yeah. Trevor Cripps, that's how I started. Moved to 24 after going to Reaction. What did Pete say? HO scale crawlers are next. Evening, everybody. Next Christmas is Hot Wheel size Axial. The SCX30 price point compared to a Kyosho is a no-brainer, and it doesn't use AAA batteries, which are heavy, and these will fit in stockings so well. I know Sean's RC Construction hates minis, but I could see him putting these in some stockings. I just know it. And then once they see the bigger trucks, yeah, once they're hooked on it, they'll go bigger. It's smart. Sean's right. He sees the marketing aspect of it. Brother, do you still fly RC planes? I remember your old apprentice. Yes, I crashed it pretty good several times. You know, I have a couple planes. I have a plane right here. I bought this thing with every intention to fly it. Bought the batteries for it. This might tell you about when I bought a bunch of Venom batteries for this. Never charged them. You see, when it comes to these, it's the binding process that keeps me from getting started. The fear and dread of pulling out that big radio and trying to figure out how to get it set to even fly, that turns me away from it. So I need to have a flying person come over and help me. I love to fly them. I do have one of the little small scale like this fighter planes too. It's like the Mustang, I think. It's in the box though. I bought this one. I must have been living here because the front yard is big enough to fly this small of a plane. We're on 3 acres and we got quite a bit of it in the front yard. And these things are the quick takeoff and landing one, the stall one, I think. Yeah, timber turbo stall. So it should take right up and just stop. I'll be honest, I don't even know how to open it now. Oh, figured it out. Magnets. Dang, it's a tiny little motor. I could use that on a crawler. Anyway, I'll try and take this over. Like John's saying, I'll try and take it over. But yeah. So to answer your question, no, I don't still fly them. I want to, although I do think I might have under the radar flown one at some event that I went to that you're probably supposed to have been a pilot for, but they let me fly it. It was one of those glider style ones. It was pretty fun. Pete was probably there actually. Anyway, that's all I'll say about that. Oh, see, Pete says, "Oh man, let's go fly." I need to come down there. You guys ain't so far away from here. How far is Champaign from here? 4 hours? Yeah, 4 hours. 4 hours, that ain't bad. If you guys set up a time to go flying and all that, I'll probably have to get my AMA or whatever for the insurance. Have you already discussed the latest Corrali? No, the Shiroi. Let's talk about that, Matthias. That thing is sweet looking. They got that new Team Corrali short course truck. Okay. near Toledo. That's probably not any closer. Are you in the Champaign area? Oh, it's only 2 hours, 2.5 hours. So I guess that is closer. Tommy got over 50, 4S and 6S capable. I looked at him, but I'm RC broke right now. I was just saying earlier, I bought that light. I bought a new trailer for RC stuff, which, I'll be honest, I just flipped my fishing boat in order to get that. So I could do these races. And boy, could I use the fishing boat right now. Those things are jumping out of the river, and I'm like dying to go out there and fish them. But yeah, so I sold it and I got the trailer. So I was able to kind of pay for most of that with the fishing boat sale. There's a little extras. I probably spent another $500 above that on the rails and all that for locking stuff down. And then the jacks in the back. And then the lights, I've been buying, the wood and the boards and the paint and all that for doing all the jumps and all that. And I probably spent about $400 on that. And I just bought this workbench table here to use. I needed to update the studio stuff. I want to be able to stand like I did for the latest videos and have two cameras pointing, because it's always like you do an intro and then you go around the other side, and then in order to be behind the camera so people can see the stuff, then your hands are always going out from the camera, so they're blocking what you want people to see. So I wanted to still be on the other side and have two set up. And anyway, so I worked to get it set up more like what you see right now. Anyway, so that was expensive. I've put out a lot of money, and well, most people know YouTube doesn't make a ton of money, so I'm overspent. My wife's like, you need to cool it. So we're hanging on some of that stuff, but got a little work to do, make a little bit of money this month doing some video stuff, so that'll help offset some of it. See you AA day, Aaron. Got tow truck rig fishing problem solved. Yeah. Matt says Toledo's 2.5 hours. Yeah, he just drove there. Okay, smart. Good to know. Mike Carter, man. Hopefully I'll see you at Proline by the Fire. I saw that you'd posted that it was you. I was going to try and head out there in the evening. So anyway, lots of good releases, you guys. I mean, Proline's got new wheels, new tires, new bodies. They got new stuff coming for the SCX30 already that we've seen. They've got the jumps, which again, I just bought some to use for our racing because it looks perfect for that. Axial had the SCX30. There's the Gorgon Grom, and the Quake Grom, and the Redcat stuff, the new Ascent Apex that just came out, the Vanquish Mullet that just came out. HPI is dropping some stuff. Sen is there, and they're supposed to be dropping some cool stuff. I don't know if it's dropped yet or not. Anyway, just lots of cool stuff that's coming, and I'm excited. I'm excited about this fall. It felt like there was kind of this drought where there wasn't a whole lot of new stuff, and then it was like, floodgates, just everything hit at once, which is good. And I get it. It's coming up to Christmas, and there's always that little bit of push there. But yeah, my motorhome will be there on Thursday. I'm driving it back. Okay, so you're not going to be there to run the event. You're just dropping off your RV. Yeah, the 32nd scale Redcat is just being announced. It sounds like Traxxas has a new monster truck, X-Max, X-Monster, with like a Bigfoot body option or different colors. I don't know, like, Really, are people going to get the other color ones, or are they just going to get Bigfoot? I'm guessing a lot more Bigfoots were made than the other color options. If I were a betting man, that's what I would bet. The Proline Grom bodies that are limited edition are super sweet, very racy looking. Yeah, there's just so much stuff that just dropped. And Redcat just dropped that 6-scale comp crawler that seems to be amazing. I know Jeff just had one coming to his shop. Jeff actually said their 24 scale long table is curing and drying tonight. They just put in some mad work on that thing, redoing the whole layout. They got their series is starting up this Sunday up at Reaction, their comp point series. So if you're in the Michigan area, look it up. Look up Reaction RC. And he's got a picture on there with the dates of the comp. So yeah, it's been busy. I've been slammed, trying to keep up. Not one reviewer has ended with a nope on the Vertex, which is crazy. With the 6 scale to not have one big, and they just keep running it and making it better and cooler, and it's pretty cool. I think so. I talked to some other influencer people about this before I even got one in my hands, and they were kind of questioning it a little bit. But their reviews, you could see their minds had changed quite a bit after they got to drive it. So, yeah, the small event a week ago, the Gauntlet. Yeah, we need to have you on and talk about that, Jeff. Just do a recap. Yeah, only weighs 12 pounds. I mean, if you're going to go 6 scale, that's the way to do it. Make it nice and light. So we'll get Jeff on one of these live streams here coming up and do a quick recap. Let him talk about his experiences with the Gauntlet. I don't know that I ever really got deep into mine. We kind of talked a little bit about it the other day, but Pablo had his stuff with his daughter's race stuff, and there's a lot of other things that we talked about, and the mullet and but yeah, amazing event. I'd love to share some stories, talk about what we had going on. So we'll definitely do a Gauntlet recap live stream here. We'll get a date. It'll probably have to be after my race this weekend because I'm going to be slamming for it because all my nights are booked this week. So the weekend's coming quick. Anyway, guys, I'm going to wrap it at that. Hour 30 in. Man, unless you saw anything new pop up in the last 15. Yeah, Jeff's going to be busy. He's got his comp series starting. They've got the shop up and going. It gets crazy this time of year. Heck, 30s fits in your 2Max. We all know fish are lazy. Right. All right, JMRCs, I'll message you on Facebook. Talk about times and all that. Head out that way tomorrow. I don't know exactly where I got to go. So anyway, later, everybody. It's been fun. It's been busy. I'm ready for some sleep after last night. Last night was a late one. So we'll catch you all later and have fun RCing. Thanks for tuning in as always, guys. We really do appreciate you.